Hello.
Ivory, we need to post the link so other people can find it.
Okay. The StreamYard link or the YouTube link?
The StreamYard. I'll go and let Justin Skipper know.
Okay. Is Kevin coming?
I don't know. I need to send him another notice because
Okay.
I sent him the wrong link.
Okay.
How's your day been going?
It's been good. I ordered some more worm cultures. I already have black worms, so now I'm going to be doing the black worms and micro worms and grindle worms.
Oh,
So that should be fun.
yeah, I've been thinking about doing the Walter ones.
Yeah, I've heard they grow to be a 1/16 of an inch. So, yeah, I went with one that's slightly bigger. I believe the micro worms get 1/10 of an inch, and I don't know how large the grindle worms get, but they don't get very large.
Well, I've got a really small fish. I do mostly the bettas and the swordtails and guppies. So
Yeah.
these are good for mine. People might be expecting me on the other stream because I've switched it to the back where it's fish room now.
Yeah.
So that might be why we're not having any visitors yet.
Yeah. I've heard the grindle worms are really good for adult fish.
Yeah.
I'm excited to start cultivating grindle worms.
Now, how do you culture those?
So, from what I've heard, it's you take a Tupperware container and you put organic potting soil that doesn't have any plant food or anything in it, or cocoa fibers, and you put that in the bottom, and then you buy a culture of grindle worms. I'm getting mine off of simplybetta.com.
Okay.
And then you put that culture into the Tupperware container, and you feed them every day. You can feed them soggy dog food, bread, old fish food, things like that. They basically eat nasty things like stale bread and old fish food, and then dog food too, which is what I'm going to be feeding mine, dog food and stale bread. And you feed them every day, and every month you take a portion of the soil out, or coconut fibers, whatever you're using. A couple weeks before you're going to do that, you start feeding on the other side of where you're going to take the soil out, and then all the worms move to that side, and you take the soil out that you're replacing, like a third or a half of it, and then you throw that away, put that in your yard or something. And then you replace that with new soil, and then you feed on the new soil, but not like, because all your worms are here. You don't want to put all the food here because then they're not going to find it. You want to put like a small trail halfway there, and then the next day a small trail 3/4 of the way, and then a small trail all the way to where you want to be feeding, and then you take out the rest of the old soil, and then you have all new soil and a clean worm culture. But you want to poke holes in the lid and put something like filter floss, or you can put coffee filters. You want to hot glue that over the holes so there's airflow, but you don't get anything like mites or fruit flies in there because those will compete with your brindle worms.
Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, S.
Hi, Jeffrey and S. That's what I've heard that you can do. And then for the microworms, you just get a taller container. Brindle worms don't need a tall container. But microworms crawl up the side and you culture the worms that are crawling up the side. You just take a taller container. You put something like instant oats or like made instant oats or instant mashed potatoes in the bottom, and then you put your microworm culture in there. And then you don't have to feed it any food. It feeds off the bacteria that's in the mashed potatoes or the oatmeal. And you could put yeast as well. And then slowly they'll climb up the sides and you culture the ones that are on the sides. You just take your finger, wipe a scoop off, or you use like a Q-tip or something or a syringe, and you just scoop them off the side as how many you need. And you put them in a little dish of water, and then you feed them to your fish.
Ah.
Actually, I have a container that I'm going to be using for the microworms. I can grab it real quick.
Okay. So yeah, I have actually started using this other account now. This is the one that I'll be streaming on Tuesdays from now on. The other one I'm going to be reserving more for late night chats and things like that when I go live stream at night. That way we can kind of keep certain followers separated from others so we don't have to worry so much about language and things like that following over from one to the other.
Okay, so the container I'm going to be using for microworms is like, it's a milk foam container. It's got like all the sticky stuff from the labels on it, but I'm going to have it turned like this. And you're going to fill it like that much of mashed potatoes or oats, oatmeal, and then you're gonna put your culture in on top of the mashed potatoes or oats, and then slowly, if it's a new culture, then it's gonna take time. But if it's but if a lot of them survived in shipping, then they'll start crawling up the sides, and then you just swipe it off the sides, put it in your aquarium. Some of them do die in shipping, but sometimes a lot of them will die in shipping. But if it's a mature culture, then there'll still be eggs in the media, which would be the oats and the mashed potatoes. I got one of my betas in there, but this is a similar container of what the Grindle worms are shipped in, and people do keep cultures in these size containers. However, I'm going to be getting a container that's a bit larger, but these work perfect.
Okay.
Once I get my microworm, blackworm, and brindle worm cultures going, I'll probably sell some of them. And if you get any of them, they'll probably be in one of these containers because I have lots of them.
Where are you going to find time to do all this? You've been doing all your fish and you're doing all the stuff that you've been doing to help all of us with our streams, with doing the tags and the videos.
Yeah, I pretty much find time at the end of the day. During school, I have breaks in between classes, 3-minute breaks, and I normally just pop on people's streams during then. But like after school, like right now, this was an hour after school because I got out earlier today. So I had an hour, and that's when I bought my worms to start culturing, and I kind of cleaned up the fisherman stuff. But surprisingly, I have a lot of time at the end of the day. That's why I stream 4 to 5 Eastern time on Wednesdays, because I have that much time extra at the end of the day. From 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I don't have much going on. So that's why I can be on here from like 3 to 4:30 or longer. And then I have dinner, and then I have time for
Hello.
my stream. Hi, Larry.
Hey, Bree. You were saying?
So I'm
She's a very busy young lady.
yeah, but I surprisingly somehow have lots of time at the end of the day.
Now, I remember you telling me at one point that you had, I think, a music class.
Yes,
What instrument do you play?
clarinet.
Oh,
I also play a little bit of the guitar.
which one do you prefer to play?
I don't play the guitar a lot. I do enjoy that one much because you don't have to put your mouth on it. So I do enjoy the guitar because everybody can play the guitar at one sitting. You don't have to play like with clarinet. You have to all have a different clarinet. But with guitar, you can all share it. So I would say I like guitar, but I practice clarinet every week. So I use that a lot more.
Yes, when I was younger, I took piano lessons, and I could never get the timing quite right. You're good at the recorder.
S also said I would do worms, but I'm worried for the smell. My black worm culture smells absolutely horrible, but I have it in a 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it. I do have an air stone run into it, but there's a small hole in the lid that's just big enough to have air line through it. So I don't actually smell in my room until you actually open the bucket. And I was cleaning it the other day, and it did really good. There's lots of black worms in there. So
What temperature do those have to be kept at?
the black worms?
Well, any of the worm cultures, really.
So supposedly white worms are supposed to be kept at 80 degrees, but I'm not keeping white worms, I'm keeping grindle worms. And I've heard that grindle worms and microworms can be kept at 68 to 75 degrees, which is perfect because that's what my room stays at. And then the black worms, I really don't know what temperature they're supposed to be kept at. I keep them at like 68 to 72 because because they're sitting on the floor, so that's what my room temperature would be when they're on the floor. Some people keep them in the fridge. I have a small culture in the fridge. And then some people keep them like I do in a bucket on the floor. So I guess they can handle a large range of temps, the black worms can. But
hi, Ian. How you doing today?
there's 7 people in chat so far.
Well, thanks for having the patience with me and taking the time to find me. I know it's a little bit different. I forgot to tell everybody last week that I was going to be switching over to the new channel, but I think it's just easier for us to have this one for our daytime talk and the other one for a nighttime channel. But this one and the nighttime channel, I'll be posting the link in chat. If you want to come up on screen and share anything, your tanks, or just talk, you don't have to have a camera. If you've got just the microphone and you just want to talk, we can do that. But feel free to hit that link, and we'll let you come on up and share whatever you'd like to share with us today. And if you have questions, just put them there in the chat, and we'll try to keep up with those too. Is there anything you're new and exciting that you wanted to share with us today, Bree?
The worms are definitely exciting. My family officially thinks I'm crazy because I was so happy that I ordered worms.
How are the discus?
the discus are doing good. I did lose one of them, which was upsetting, but I still have two, and they're doing really good. I got 2 new betas. I don't even know when I got them. I think I got them Saturday. I think they're going to grow up to be koi betas, but I bought them as baby girl betas, and they're all white. One of them has a little bit of red and blue in it, so I think they might grow up to be koi betas or maybe American flag betas. So the betas, the discus are doing good. The guppies had more babies. The worms, very exciting. On the topic of guppies, I'm going to be getting some guppies from Jess. I'm going to be getting her Moscow butterfly line and her platinum tiger mosaic line.
Oh.
Sounds good.
That's exciting.
Yeah, Jen just got some Nebula Steel this past week
Cool.
that are gorgeous.
I'm thinking about getting Jess's icicle and Santa Claus line because those ones are really pretty.
And I just got a new betta too. If he'll come out and show you, I've got the camera on his tank. We're gonna call him Teal, but he's blue.
We are going to call him Teal, okay.
All around the edges, he's got this pinkish color. And when he turns a certain way, you can't see the pink on his tail at all. Sometimes he can look green, sometimes he looks blue.
It's mostly blue.
He's just a really active male betta. He's a half moon betta, but he doesn't have the long fins like our other male betta. So I think that might be why he swims around so much more.
Gorgeous, though.
It's not as difficult for him to swim.
I was never a big fan of bettas.
US.
For me, they were kind of boring. And we were watching a feed of a couple that used to own a store and everything and are now breeding and selling, or they're selling, they want to get into breeding, but they're selling bettas. And Jen and I were watching one night and we looked at their stock they had for sale and we fell in love with this, what were they, Dumbo?
Lavender, Dumbo, Half Moon.
Oh,
Gorgeous pair, a breeding pair. So we got them. We've yet to put them in the same tank. They're next to each other. But they're absolutely gorgeous, and I love them, both of them. I thought I was only going to like the males with the big wide tails, but I love the female as well, with the smaller tail and the smaller fins. And so now I'm a fan of bettas, like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Never liked guppies, and she gets the she shows me in the fish store last week the Nebula Steel ones, and I'm like, oh my god. And then shows me the Endlers that have a similar look, the red and everything, or the orange in it, and I'm like, oh my god, they're amazing. So now she's got guppies, she's got Endlers.
And I do have, I have 3 tanks that have shrimp in it. And that's something I was hoping, hi Pride Moore. I was hoping somebody that visited today might have a little bit more information on breeding of shrimp. I know that if you put shrimp of the same species but different coloration in a tank, they can kind of go back to their wild colors. But I have the problem of I happen to put 3 different colors in one tank because I wasn't set up right. And now I'm trying to separate them out. And I'm trying to leave like the adults of one color in one tank, the adults of one color in another tank, and then the adults and the babies of the other color in another one. And I'm hoping that the culls that don't really have a lot of color, and the oranges, and the ones that might be baby reds, with the adult oranges, if I keep them all in the same tank, does anybody know if that will make them continue to brighten up and become more orange?
Which ones?
If I keep the babies that are
Cherry red baby.
either have no color or might have a little bit of red in them or orange.
The cherry reds and the orange, mixing them, will that make the orange stand out more if they breed?
If the reds and orange breed?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm trying to keep the reds separate, but they've already had a few little babies. So the couple little babies that may grow up, I'm going to put in the tank with the oranges. I'm also putting whatever these clear ones that haven't colored up are in with the oranges. And I'm hoping that it'll help the orange strain to color up more orange, but I don't know the genetics of whether or not that would happen or if they would go more a wild color.
We hope.
Nice. I don't know.
Let's see.
I know if they breed, they're just going to come out as rainbow shrimp.
Ah.
You found alder cones where you're working.
There's teal.
Did you risk it for the biscuit? Atkins, it depends on what you're trying to do with your tank. If you're trying to buffer it and hoping to have the natural tannins and things like that, make it more of a dark water type situation, the alder cones are good. But if you're just doing it to have as a decoration, they're not going to hurt anything, but you certainly don't need to have them unless you're trying to set up a specific type biotype or you're trying to alter your water conditions. But yeah, I need to learn more about the breeding of those shrimp because I'm hoping that that'll be the next adventure is getting them to breed true. I've got some beautiful blues that I want to keep separate so that I want them to keep breeding. The reds are beautiful. I want to keep them breeding separate, but I'd really like to get a little more color out of the oranges that I have. So if anybody knows how I can get them to brighten up more or make them more colorful colony, please let me know.
I know the substrate makes a difference in their color. If you have a darker substrate, it makes them bring out darker colors. But if you have a light substrate, then it makes their colors come out brighter.
Oh,
Okay.
I've actually got them in white
White
sand.
sand.
Strata.
Okay, good. But I love when looking at those tanks and seeing them scurry along and such. Or suddenly swim across them going, first time we got the tank and she got the shrimp, and one starts floating across, swims across them going, they can swim like that?
Yeah, you didn't know they could swim.
No.
Well, that's because at the store you don't really see them swimming. You see them jumping away from the net or from somebody's hand, or you see them foraging and just climbing around. They rarely swim in a tank because they put them in with other things and they don't like to be noticed.
And we've only had the flower shrimp, which are good size shrimp, but they just scurry along the bottom. I never saw them swim.
Yeah, I'm hoping that now that I've got them in the tank with the cories and the catfish, once I get that all planted up, I'm hoping that they'll spend more time on top of the wood.
Yeah.
Because they're actually supposed to be more of a filter type shrimp where they filter through the particulates in the water rather than go around picking at stuff.
Yeah, but they've been hiding under the wood when there's fish around. So yeah, hopefully this will bring them out. Who knows? We're new to the shrimp.
We actually had a discussion last night because I went to the fish store again and I bought another 20-gallon long, and I ended up spending a lot of money on plants because I really like to have heavily planted fish tanks. I think personally, I love the look of it. I think the fish feel more comfortable in it, and it also, if I want to go away for 3 days, 4 days, even a week, I don't have to worry about feeding these fish. They can eat off the plants for that week, and I'm good. So we had a little discussion last night about, because I'm replanting all the tanks, and he's like, well, I really like the way you did that one, where all the plants are just kind of in the background and you've got all this foreground area. And it's like, yeah, but that's going to change because when it all grows in, I want it to cover in. I want it to fill in. I want them to have space within all the little plants to hide.
Which makes sense.
Breeding.
I'm there for the aesthetic look, and I like to see the fish swimming around in front.
Yes, now see, I think for me personally, I'm a little like Joanne, who does the tiny tanks. For me, some of my fish tanks are more another place to put plants and actually have plants that will survive, because the plants that I try to grow outside the tanks don't grow that well. I have much better success with aquatic plants than I
In the
do
plant, yeah.
potted plants. So I love having all the plants and the natural look. So I have like 5, 6 different kinds of plants in each one of the tanks. I don't believe in saying, oh, just get one kind of plant, or just one background plant, one foreground plant. I like an explosion of different kinds of leaf textures and shapes and sizes and heights.
I'll be right back.
Jeffrey, you have a leaking tank?
It's not leaking yet, but he's worried about it because it's got the crack on the outside.
Where
But
on
I'd
the
always be worried about that sort of thing. Crack on the outside. If you bump it again, it could start to leak.
Oh. What size tank is it? Oh, how old is it? You might still be
New.
under warranty.
Yeah, says it was new. Yeah, the chat is 10 seconds back from our live talk.
If you're still under warranty, I would get them to take it back. That's why I don't have tanks shipped to me. I go pick them up myself. Although I don't like the way they package some of the tanks because you can't see all of the tank. Like
Yeah, with the cardboard around it.
cardboard and you can't see all of it. And that's the thing. You really can't test a seal in the store.
Of course not. For a 10 or a 20, you're not worried about it. You can bring it back. But for something bigger, you get a 55 or 75 trying to carry those things around, getting them transported in the cars and everything. That would be crazy. What? You mean I got to clean my car again so I can transport this thing? Keep making me clean the back of my car.
Oh, that's great, Jeffrey.
Yeah, we got 8 10-gallon tanks to go downstairs. We ordered them online.
Yeah, I would check that 75 over real well. You don't want the pressure of that going.
8 tanks, you said? Are they filled now?
No, they're not filled. We have 2 75-gallon tanks and 8 10-gallon tanks on a rack downstairs. But we had the 8 10-gallons bought from Petco to pick up, and one of them had a large crack on the side. But we saw it before we put it in the car. So
Hi, Kevin.
Oh.
Glad you could come on and say hi today. Hope you're having a great day.
What are you planning for those 10 or those 8 tanks?
the 8 10-gallon tanks are going to have plants to grow out and sell in them.
Okay.
And then the 75s, we live right next to a creek. We have a creek a couple feet out of our yard.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
So
Jen, we have to move.
I told you that already.
So we're going to go to the creek and get some rocks.
But I want to move near Kevin.
You get a catch from the creek?
We're going to get some stones and some rocks and stuff and put them in the 75s.
Yeah.
With what fish?
I don't know. My father likes the powder, electric blue Jack Dempsey.
Okay.
Okay, those are nice.
I won an Oscar, but they're not my tanks. My dad does like the Tiger Oscar, so that's a good sign.
So you might be able to talk
Well,
him
you
into
got
it.
to remember with Oscars are like guppies. You have 2 Oscars today, you have 100 tomorrow. And only they're worse. You have 500 tomorrow.
Yeah,
So she'll sell them all. That's okay.
I'm gonna have one.
So yeah, but yeah, if you're into those bigger fish, personally, I never really cared for the Oscars look. I love the electric Jack Dempsey though. Electric Blue Jack Dempsey, that's what it is. I've been looking at those recently, and it's like, oh. The only problem is there's no other fish that I would want to keep with it, and I can't see giving a whole tank to one fish, other than my bettas, because those are little tanks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Jeffrey, I think that's a Craftsman's. She's got 2 of them. They're garage racks that'll hold like 1,000 or 1,200 pounds per.
man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Atkins lost a fish. We just lost last night. We discovered our oldest roseline shark. We've got like a dozen of them, and for some reason, it's just floating. We don't know what happened. Well, the others seem fine.
I think that one actually may have been a little overstressed from me adding all the Siamese algae eaters back into that tank.
Well, we'll never know.
But that's the next thing I've got to do is I got too many of those, not realizing how big they are supposed to get.
How big are Siamese algae eaters supposed to get?
6 inches.
Oops. They're
How big
cool
tank did you put them in?
They're in a 75.
now, but they were in.
Um,
She was splitting them up between all the tens,
but I've
getting
also
them to eat
got
the
'em
algae
in,
and then moving them.
I've also got them in with the rose lines. And the rose lines are my preferred fish out of the two. So I'm going to have to get these back to the LFS. And they're pretty good about that. My LFS is really great about saying, okay, bring them back in. We'll give you store credit, whatever. Especially if I keep them for a couple of months and they grow a little. I usually at least get what I paid out of it. And I get to enjoy the fish for a little while. They get to do the job that they were bought for before I need to move them out. Because when these tanks first get set up, I always have a green hair algae bloom, always. And they're great at taking care of that for me.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
But I noticed the other day that the roseline was actually cleaning up and eating some of the dead moss that I had in there. So it looks like they're going to be, they and the mollies should be good at doing the algae patrol and the 180 with having the quarries stir up the dirt. And the 2 plecos that we have. I've got a bristlenose and we have a king tiger pleco.
My baby.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that when we move him to the 180, he'll actually come out and show himself more often. He's beautiful, but he loves to hide. That's the problem with those gorgeous plecos. They're nocturnal and they want to hide all the time. And it's like, but you're so pretty.
Yeah, one of my favorite fish, and I rarely see him. I go looking for him and look behind all the rocks, and it's like looking on the side of the tanks to see if I could figure out where he is. And he wasn't where he's against the back wall, right behind the intake for the filter, for the hang on the back filter, and he hasn't been there. And I finally looked up closely and found that he was actually on the intake itself, the intake pipe itself, not on the wall. That's why I couldn't see him.
We have a common pleco, and we had 3 chocolate bristlenose plecos. We have 2 now.
Are you going to have to be careful on how you get that into the rack, Jeff? Or Jeffrey? I know some people have been buying different racks for the 75s and find that they actually have to put the 75 in it as they're building it, because the way the support structures on the sides are, it leaves just enough room to get the tank on the shelf, but not past the rails.
So just wide enough, just deep enough.
So you
to
have
get
to
it on
put
there.
it down into it.
Yeah, and then put the top shelf on above it. Or put smaller tanks on the lower shelf and put the 75 on the top.
Yeah, but a 75 gallon on the top is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1,200 pounds.
to be bottom heavy.
It's only a 2-tier, so it's...
Yeah, 40 breeder would be nice.
That'll be perfect.
Right now I have one of the, oh, I don't know what the dimensions on this shelf are, but it's one of those garage shelves from Home Depot. That is, it has a total of 6 shelves. You can either stack them on top of each other or put them side by side, so that it's split 3 shelf and 3 shelf, and take out the center beam and use the same center beam to make it essentially one whole shelf. And on that one, I have 2 20 longs on the bottom and a 10. And on the second shelf, I have 6 10 gallons. And on the top shelf, I have a 32.5 gallon salt water and a
37.
37 gallon salt water.
Yeah, the 32 we're trying to make into a. We're getting the fish nice and settled, and we want to get some corals in there. That'll be amazing. If she puts the rocks together like she wants to.
I need to do that. The problem is I want to videotape it, and I need the right lighting and the right day to do it, and I've just been so overwhelmed with buying all these other tanks and getting them set up and doing that the right way. I'm just happy with the fish that we have in it at the moment, and we can wait. Right now, the corals aren't going anywhere.
Well, after your discovery the other night.
Hi, Dave. How you doing? So you're the you want the electric blue Jack Dempsey?
Hey, Dave. Yeah, the discus and the 75 should go perfect.
Yeah, that's one thing I am thinking that is going to be what we end up with in the bedroom, I think, is the discus.
Okay.
Because the discus are such calm, non-moving fish that they would just be very relaxing to watch when I'm laying down at night.
Yeah, so Jen was looking at her at the 32 saltwater with the 5 fish in it, and suddenly notices something against the back wall of it, where the filter is.
6 fish now.
6 fish now. And she's like, "What the hell is that?" And she sends me a picture of this spiny thing that's sitting there that we didn't put in there. We don't know how it got in there, but she's got a sea urchin floating around in there, and it hides it during the daytime.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a free sea urchin, a free cucumber, and a free Agapora coral on the live rock that I got from my saltwater fish store.
Absolutely amazing. It's like, we've had that tank going for several weeks. Where the hell did this fish come from? The sea urchin.
It was probably burrowing in the gravel, and it took it that long to come out for food.
Wow.
And it may have just been that it's been coming out, and
Just never noticed.
Noticed it. It might have been hiding behind where the rock is, and I never saw it until it was in just the right spot on the back wall.
But now every time I come over, I've got to look for it.
Yep. But yeah, we ended up picking up a new goby. We're calling him Dozer, so we have Digger and Dozer. Digger likes to actually dig out underneath the rock. Dozer likes to pick up the sand and fill in the holes underneath the rock. So that works well. And I think I just named your Pleco, dear. It's going to be Waldo. Because it's always, where's Waldo?
My Pleco?
Yes.
Waldo.
You play Where's Waldo every time you come.
Every time I come over, where's my King Tiger?
Yep. So that one's going to be Waldo. Now the only other fish that we have that we haven't named that we could would be the gourami.
Yeah.
And that one just doesn't have enough personality that we.
Survivor. He's like one of our oldest fish now. That's my suggestion. We call him Survivor.
Oh, the urchin moves corals. I didn't know that.
As the Pleco, not quite 4 inches, maybe 4 inches tops. We got him. He hasn't grown much since we got him. I don't know, less than a year ago.
Yeah, he's a king tiger Pleco.
That is the same size as our bristlenose.
Yes.
Almost to the millimeter. They're the exact same. Every once in a while, I've seen them both up on the front glass side by side, which is pretty cool.
Oh, and right before the stream, I watched Darla harass. What's his name? I just blanked. Not Spanky.
Alfalfa?
Alfalfa. Yeah. Alfalfa was. She come up to him and wrapped her tail around him and started trying to cuddle him, and he was having none of it and started swimming away. And she's still grabbing on with her tail, and he's shaking his tail trying to get her to let go.
It's the funniest thing. I mean, we've got the 2 new seahorses are about 3 inches, and the one we've had for like a year and a half is almost 6 inches. And this little female just keeps coming up and grabbing at the this huge male. It's so funny. I'm like, damn, girl, you hit puberty quick. It's like absolutely funny. And it completely ignores the 3-inch male, or very rarely bothers him. She'll go over when it's like nap time and she'll cuddle up with him. But the minute she wants to be active, she goes right after the 6-inch one. Just beautiful watching them. And him just trying to get away. Get the hell off me! Get the hell off me! Never thought we'd get seahorses for like our first saltwaters.
Alan Matthews says a loose definition of urchin is mischievous.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, speaking of loose definitions, has anybody tried the new cookie from the Girl Scouts? The Toasteds?
Oh God, yes.
They are like cinnamon toast. And we were at a gaming session the other day, and some people tried them. And one of these guys said, "Oh, this is like what did he say? Childhood. Oh
yeah. What did she?
Was it?
Some sort of childhood dreams.
Childhood expectations?
No.
No.
We both forgot what he said.
it was like, oh, it brings back childhood memories and of eating cinnamon toast crunch or having the toast that we all had with butter and cinnamon
toast.
on
Yeah.
top. Hi, Fishy Mom.
Yeah. Toast Jays.
Yeah,
And
I
since you're
probably
forcing me to open up the package to show everybody.
wrap this up in about 5 minutes or so. I want to get out on the bike today and go pick up Larry anyway. It's a beautiful day out. First day really that it's warm enough that I want to ride on it. That I've got the time to ride on it during the daytime hours.
I'll be right back. I got to move my laundry to the dryer. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's real nice outside here today. It's nice and sunny. It's warm.
So Bree, I know that you say you're in upstate New York. Whereabouts?
Just west of Lake George.
Just west of Lake George. We're over here in Buffalo, right next to Niagara Falls.
That explains Larry's name.
Yes. So we've got Lake Erie and we've got the Niagara River. But the reason I was asking, and if your dad's still here and if your mom's watching too, we like to take trips out on the Spider, and we were wondering if maybe sometime this summer we could take a trip out there, you guys, and meet up somewhere.
That'd be fun.
I think that would be fun to have a picnic with Bree and family.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it sometime.
Maybe if there's a national park or something close by and there's anybody else in the area that would like to join, we could actually get a nice little fish fam party going.
Rico, Stan, and Patty are from New York, too.
Yeah.
If we all met up at a fish store, that'd be fun.
That would be great. Oh, you've got family in Washington Heights, Jeffrey Watts? I will, Dave.
We'll have to try and do a New York fish fan meetup somewhere. Is that like a fish store? That's like in the middle of all of us.
Yeah, we hear about the Tennessee Mafia all the time, and we got to get the New Yorkers to start getting together and joining up together.
Yeah.
We got so many down in Florida that meet up, and I think here in New York, I know you've got a lot more in upstate New York that I've been seeing than here in the western New York area.
Right, Dave. All the awesome people are in New York.
True.
And if they should be, we also have all the awesome fish here.
True.
This is true.
Especially if you like to go game fishing. We've got really good bass, trout, pike. New York's a great place for fishermen.
Yeah.
And we do have just so many lakes and rivers, and we've got wine country, we've got orchards.
Oh, the Finger Lakes. Yeah, we got to get there. Right, Jeffrey. Agrees with Dave, but all the awesome fish fam people are everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we're all over the place.
This is true.
That's why we come here, because we want to meet those people from all over the place. Bye, Fishy Mom. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Fishy Mom.
Bye, Fishy Mom.
Yeah, it's nice outside today. I won't be on here too much longer.
Yep, just a few more minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice getting back on the bike. Well, I've been on the bike for like the last 4 days in a row, but Jen hasn't.
Oh, there he is, right in the front.
Oh yeah, he's been coming out a lot. Jen, did you plug in your helmet, charge it up?
Yes, I did. Right
Good
before I went live.
Okay, good. Yeah, my laundry's gonna be in another hour, so you got time to get it charged up.
So once the weather gets nice and we're all allowed to travel freely everywhere, I'll be letting your mom know when we want to come up and have a get together for a picnic or a fish room or something.
Woohoo!
Yeah. It'd be fun if we all met up at a fish store.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could show us your fish store.
Benson's Fish Room?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's nice. It's not too large, but it's a really nice one. I'm actually wearing that hoodie right now.
we have a smaller place here that is really great. Everybody, we've got people who come in from outside the area just to go there. They don't have a website. They don't sell online, but they've been in business, more than 40, 30 years that I know of.
Yeah.
And the people there are really knowledgeable. They do have salt water. They also have mostly fresh water. And they have a good selection of tanks and wood and rocks and all the accessories that you need. They have a little pond section. They sell koi. They sell the big long fin koi. They sell the bettas and they keep the bettas in the either in their own individual mason jars, or they put them in with the 10-gallon tanks with the other fish. So they're really responsible on how they keep them. I've never seen them keep it in less than a quart-sized mason jar. So they're really fantastic. I love them, and they have it separated out. That they have a separate section of larger, more aggressive cichlid section. So if what you're into is cichlids, you can go right to that department and zero in on the fish you want. So I really like the way they've arranged everything, and they've got great pricing. If you do a lot of business with them and they get to know you, they even give you extra discounts when they know that you're spending a lot of money on a specific day. They'll just throw in the discount without even thinking about it. So they're really a great place. But I love to check out Benson's.
Yeah, what Benson's has is they have a whole saltwater section, and then they have a live bear section, a live bear / shrimp section, like a tetra / miscellaneous freshwater section, and then they have a cichlid section that includes discus, and then they have their display tanks and their dry goods aisle.
Oh, and our fish place also has the giant, I don't know how many thousands of gallons, with the like the 4-foot catfish.
Yeah,
and a
they
couple of-
have I don't know if you were on the stream earlier when we were talking to, they were talking to Florida Fish Rescue on his channel, and they were talking about why do the LFS sell these fish? And you know, are you really rescuing a fish if you buy one from them, knowing that eventually it's going to have to go somewhere else? They show you how big this fish is going to get. They have a tank that is, what is it, 10 feet long,
At
probably
least.
3 feet wide. These fish can't even turn themselves around in the tank without having to really bend and twist. And it's probably 10 foot high. And they've got a red-tailed catfish in there. I love this catfish. Every time I go in, I'll rub the glass, and it'll follow your hand like a puppy. So it's like you're petting the catfish. And then they have a common pleco in there that looks like a dinosaur. And that thing is basically in one corner and barely moves at all because it has no room to move. And it's so sad that we're taking them out of the wild population, bringing them into the hobby, and then that's how they have to live. You know, and I know the argument is, well, we're helping to control the wild population, and it's like, well, the wild population has its own control mechanism. You know, that's why plecos and things eat their own eggs and things like that to control population. When we go in there and we start messing around with it and saying, oh, let's take them out of the hobby, well, some of them aren't meant to be taken out of the hobby, or into the hobby, I should say. It's not feasible for somebody to give them the quality of life that they really deserve to have on a long term. But that's one of the pet peeves that I do have about those plecos. There needs to be a lot more said about what size these plecos are, what size they get, and the fact that don't assume that you'll have the tank before it grows to the size, because some are fast growers and some take forever. And I just think that every place that sells plecos should have to give you a tear sheet on this particular species that you want, so you really know what you're getting into. It'd be more fair to the fish. Yes, I'm going to shut down. Bye, Fishymon. Bye, Dave. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you next Tuesday. Take a look for me throughout the week. I might have a pop-up live stream going later at night if you're a night owl. That's something that I'm going to try to get started up this week, is some late night feeds for the night owls out there. So thanks everybody for coming by. Let everybody know where we are now, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye everybody.
Bye, everyone.